Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Mary. Today I'm going to show you a couple cards made with this Fiskars stamp set that I got that I have been dying to use. So I thought I would just record the video and show you some different mediums that I used to get these 4 cards. So I'm starting off with the first one with Bristol cardstock, and I'm taking my Distress inks, Twisted Citron, and Mowed Lawn, and I'm just putting down some color. Nothing fancy here. I'm just kind of doing like an ombre type look with the ink. Now Bristol is, the ink sits on top of the paper for a little bit, so that's why it's easy to blend. And so you want to use that white piece of paper there on the side so you don't get fingerprints all over it, because I've been guilty of that for sure. So I'm going to distress it by getting some water droplet look. And I like that little added touch there. And then here's the stamp set. It's so much fun. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Fiskars stamp sets because they're silicone, I believe, instead of photopolymer. And so they're not as good of quality. But if you use a stamp positioner, if you don't press too hard, if you kind of do a couple things that line up perfectly, they're such cute images. So I have quite a few Fiskars stamp sets that I use. So here I'm putting down that United States. Like, how cool is that? It's like the whole United States, except for, of course, Alaska and Hawaii, which they do come in the stamp set. They're just separate. So I have outlined my 2 states here because I'm going to have the line go from one to the other. I live in Florida. One of my very good friends lives in California. And so I'm going to send this to her just to let her know I'm thinking about her. So I'm taking out some Prismacolor pencils and I'm coloring in after I've outlined those 2 states in a green marker. And so I'm just coloring those in until I get a really nice solid blend. Nothing fancy. After that, I'm going to stamp my little dotted line that's going to take the line from her to me. Now, I think this line is meant for like a road trip line. And of course, we're not going to be driving on that exact route because you'd be driving over water. But it's a card. It's not realistic. So I'm just basically saying, I miss you. So I pulled up this Mama Elephant stamp set here, and this sentiment is really cute. So I'm just going to put down here, although we're miles apart, you're always close in my heart. And I've used, for the heart, the 2 hearts, and the sentiment, I've used some really sparkly red embossing powder. And so that's just going to give that little extra pop of red. I cut this entire panel with the Lawn Fawn biggest rectangle stitch die, just to give it a little added flare on the ends around it. And then I'm going to cover my states in glossy accents. So if you're anything like me, you're going to need to cover your states in glossy accents and then put it aside until it is completely dry. Because I am horrible about dipping stuff in my glossy accents. So I don't know if you're like me, but I have a rule. I put the glossy accents on and I put it up. Literally put it up. So I cannot even see it. Okay, so there's the first finished card for the 4 of these, and that's a little bit of a close-up. All right, this next one I had so much fun making with Distress Oxides. This color medium, the coloring for this United States here came out the most realistic and the most fun. It's just because of all the dynamics of those colors mixing, and as I dried it and then laid it down again and dried it, laid it down. The layering effect really gave it such a cool look. So I was super impressed. I didn't know how it was going to come out, but I really shouldn't have questioned the oxide. How dare I? Because it came out just amazing. So I have this old stamp set from Stampin' Up, and it's a background stamp. It's a map, basically. And I'm just going to cover that with some, I believe, Sahara sand colored ink. And then I'm going to get a nice little map background for my card. But it looked a little plain, a little, need a little love and some distressing. So I've grabbed out one of my distress inks there, and I'm just making the edges look a little bit more worn and kind of giving it that old map feel, really. Putting that map down, and then I'm going to lay the United States horizontally over there. Now, if you look at the map itself, the map is a vertical map, but I don't really care because I just like the map look behind it. So I'm really covering up anything you can read too much anyway. So I'm okay with it. But I popped the United States up with some fun 3M foam mounting tape. Excuse me. And there's a close-up of kind of that medium and the distressing and oxiding and all that good stuff. I love it. And then on that, I use the sentiment, I'm right here, or I'll be here if you need a hug. And that's from the same Mama Elephant stamp set. And I've done the same sentiment here. On this one, I basically just sponged on blue on the bottom, green on the top, and green all over the states. So nothing fancy there. For this card, though, I do need to darken my arrow, and then I also add a Nuvo drop, right where my friend lives. I'm going to give this to my friend who lives there so she can give it to somebody else. So that's that card. And then the final card in the set here is my Spectrum Noir markers got some serious love on this. That's all alcohol markers right there. Whew, that took some time. But I got to stretch them. I got to see what colors work with what. And so I'm going to pop up this panel with some fun foam. The one that has the adhesive on the back. Be very careful. That stuff is super sticky. And then I'm going to use some strong adhesive on the back of that. It's really the only thing I find that works with my fun foam. Liquid does not work for me. So if you have any suggestions on what you find that works well, please let me know. I'm going to pop that entire panel up. I've used the same sentiment again that says, I'll be here if you need a hug. And of course, that's where I live in Florida. And so I'll be sending this card out to someone else. A little bit more of a masculine card. Backed it on some gold paper I had in my stash. And then that is Mahogany Distress Ink right there, covered in some glitter. So that's the lot of them right there, the 4 cards using 4 different mediums. I know I went pretty fast. I had a lot to show you. Didn't want to make it too long. But I hope you liked the video. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.